Hi, in this video we're going to be showing you how to assemble this dresser, but before we get started, here's a few things to keep in mind. Make sure you have a Phillips head screwdriver. Another person may be helpful. Be sure all the pieces are facing the right way and make sure to set aside enough time for assembly. We will be focusing on the trickier parts and going quickly through the easier steps, so make sure to pause the video and complete all the steps as we go. With that said, let's get into it. In step 1, we'll be attaching our legs to piece 2 and we'll be using pieces 6 and 20. So we'll start by attaching pieces 6 to all 4 corners. You want to take your bolt, put your spring washer on first, and then your flat washer. And we'll put 2 of these in each leg. And to tighten these, you can use your included hex key, but I'm going to use the hex bit on my screwdriver. Okay, and once all of those are attached, then we're going to screw in piece 20. And you just want to screw that bolt into this hole right in the center. All right, and then we're good to move on. In step 2, we'll be putting dowels and cam bolts into pieces 7, 8, 1, and 2. So first on pieces 7 and 8, we'll be putting in 3 dowels onto the unfinished side. Just make sure you put them on this side and not the side with 4 holes on it. So first we'll put a drop of glue into each hole. And then we'll put in our dowels. All right, and once we have those in, then we can move on to piece 1, and we'll be putting in our cam bolts. And then we'll do the same thing again for piece 2. Okay, and then we're good to move on. In step 3, we'll put dowels and cam bolts into pieces 3, 4, 5, and 9. Okay, and we're good to move on. In steps 4 and 5, we'll be attaching pieces 4 and 5 to piece 9. So the first thing we'll do is stand up piece 9 like this. You want to make sure that this notch is facing upwards and that these cam lock holes are on the bottom. And then we'll stand up piece 5 on its side. And then you want to be sure that the side with the dowels is going into piece 9. So we'll line that up with our cam bolts. And then put in 2 of our cam locks. All right, and once that's secure, then we can attach piece 4. And we'll stand this up so that these cam bolts are on the bottom side and line them up on the outer edge of piece 9. And then we can put in 2 more cam locks. Okay, and we're good to move on. In step 6 and 7, we'll be attaching pieces 7, 8, and 3 to this piece we have together already. So we'll start with piece 7. You want to be sure that you have these cam lock holes facing inwards and these dowels are facing up. We'll line that up with our cam bolt here. And then make sure it's resting on this notch in the middle piece. And then we can put in our first cam lock. And then with piece 8, once again, want to make sure that these cam lock holes are facing in, but now the dowels are going to face downwards, and it will slide under this notch in the middle piece. And then we can put in our next cam lock. All right, once those are both attached, then we can attach piece 3. And we'll stand this up so that these cam bolts are on the bottom side, and these 2 are facing forwards. And we'll line this up with our back piece and our front panels as well. And then we can put in 4 cam locks. Okay, and then we're good to move on. In step 8, we'll be attaching the piece we just put together in the last step to piece 2. So we'll just lift this up and line it up with our cam bolts. All right, and once we have those together, then we can put in 4 screws in our front panel here. Whoop, I dropped it. Okay, and once those are in, then we can put in all of our cam locks. Okay, once all of those are in, then we can move on to step 9 and insert our back panel. Okay, once that's in, then we're good to move on. In step 10, we'll be attaching piece 1 onto the top of the piece. And when you do this, just make sure that you have the groove facing backwards and these curved edges facing forward. Okay, and once we have that on, then we'll put 4 screws into this top piece here. All right, and then we're good to put in our cam locks. Okay, we're good to move on. For steps 11 and 12, we're going to show you how to put together our easy assembly drawers. So first we're going to take our long skinny piece and stand it up just like this. And then we'll take one of our skinny side pieces and make sure that the side with the holes will go on the same side as this one. And then we'll put in 2 dowels. And make sure to put glue in these holes first. And then we can put these together. And you may need to hold this latch up so that it's facing the correct way to line everything up. Okay, and then we can put our latch down. And just also be sure that when you're putting these together that this groove lines up all the way along the inside. So we'll do the same thing again with the other side. All right, next we'll stand this up like this. And then we'll slide in our bottom panel. And just make sure that the smoother side is facing upwards. And then we can put 2 dowels in each side. All right, and once those are in, then we'll put on our top panel. Just make sure that this groove is on the same side as the bottom panel and that your pegs are facing the right way for everything to go on. And then we can lower our latches to lock it in place. And lastly, we'll attach our handles. So we'll line that up with our front holes and put in our screws. All right, and our first drawer is all done, so we'll put that off to the side. And then next we'll grab one of our wider panels and we'll do the same steps. But this time we'll only put 1 dowel in each side. And then we'll grab our first side and put that on, making sure the top groove lines up. And lock that in place. And then the other side. Stand this up and slide in our panel. Put in 2 more dowels. And then we'll line up our top panel. Just make sure those pegs are facing the right way. And that groove lines up. And then we'll lock those. Lay it down and put on our handle. Okay, we're done with our next drawer. Now we're going to put them in. So our skinny drawer will go on the top, so we'll put this one in last. So we'll lift this up and line up the sliders. Okay, there we go. All right, and once all of our drawers are in, then we're done. We hope this video was helpful for you in assembling your new dresser. For more guides, tips, and tricks, head on over to walkeredison.com.